What's the worst thing you've seen a teacher do? The school I work at does this STEM competition, and if we win at our local level, we get to go compete out of state. Our school has won the last few years thanks to this one student. In order to pay for these trips, we have to get sponsorships and one company, a few hours away from the school, was considering giving us about half of the funding we needed to pay for our trip. I talked to the other coach, and we made a meeting early on a Saturday and decided to leave early after school that Friday and stay at a hotel. Then this other coach told me to invite the girl. There was only one girl on our team, and she was the student who had put the most work in and is basically the reason we won, but I wasn't sure that he knew this. I talked to her, and she agreed to go, but she didn't have anyone to take her, so I told her she can stay with us. I explained to the other coach that she was going to stay with us, and we needed to get a room with a chair that I could sleep in so she could have a bed. I didn't want to get 2 rooms because this girl has been through some stuff that caused her to be afraid of being alone in a room. And I knew having to stay in a room with me or my fellow male coach alone would freak her out. Everything went well until we got to the hotel, and the room we booked had no chair and only 2 beds. When I went to the receptionist to see if they had another room, they were all booked. When I got back to the room, I explained the situation and asked why he hadn't booked a room with a chair, and he said that he just assumed all rooms had chairs. The other coach got a bed all to himself since he was morbidly obese and I couldn't fit with him. I offered to sleep on the floor because I felt bad. But this girl told me it was alright, and during the night she had a night terror, so she shot awake and shouted something. I fought in a war and suffer from PTSD, and I also suffer from night terrors, and sometimes something from the day triggers me and causes night terrors. I assume this happened to her, and I blame the fat coach for causing this. I asked what happened after she caught her breath, and she just told me it was bad memories. The next morning she was tired, and the fat coach asked how we slept. The girl told him she didn't sleep well, and he laughed at her and told her that he heard her yell and thought it was me since he knows I got nightmares, and told her that she's the reason he woke up last night. So then he makes her go down to breakfast to get him and coffee. When she left, I explained in a rather angry tone how he caused her nightmares and shouldn't have been such a jerk because she couldn't control it. The girl was abused and in foster care, and he told me I should adopt her since we have the same annoying problems. I told him that I think I will. I had considered it before and had already talked to my wife about it. When we got to the sponsorship meeting, the fat coach introduced the girl and told the potential sponsors that she hadn't slept well last night due to personal issues. He had no reason to do this, and she performed perfectly well. All he did was embarrass her after being a complete jerk for the entire trip. Those sponsors decided against giving us any money, so the fat coach blamed the girl. The girl was 13 at the time, and when we were leaving, he put his hand on her shoulder while he yelled at her, and she grabbed his hand in a way that looked like a reflex rather than intentional. The fat coach was very upset by this, and he pushed her then slapped her. The girl stood there frozen, and I was very upset, so I punched him for being so horrible. I was about 100 pounds lighter, but a little taller, and I had pissed off the wrong man. He ended up getting a few punches in before the company's security came and got the fat coach. The fat coach was fired, and it took about an hour to calm down the girl. I later adopted this girl. She explained that she has watched her father beat her mother to death before he beat her unconscious, which was why she had no family. She told me that she thought the same thing was going to happen to me. Adopting her was one of the best decisions I made, and she loves my wife, kids, and grandkids.